Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm BD Grant. I am a published author of A Place Worth Living and The Perfect Soldier. This video, I'm going to be discussing no content books versus low content books, what they are, who buys these type of books, and how so many people are making money off of creating this kind of content, and how a lot of people are also not doing so well at creating this content. Let's start off with the no content book. Just saying this sounds like it's an oxymoron, but a no content book really does exist. I'm not making this up. It is a book that has no words within it. So you open it up and it is blank pages or pages with lines in it. This would be like journaling. This does not necessarily mean no content, does not mean that there is absolutely nothing within the pages, like it doesn't have to just be like a blank diary. This can be books that have content in it outside of words. So coloring pages is a really popular one, especially adult coloring books that are doing seemingly very well right now, where you don't have like wording or sentences. There's not a story you're following that you're reading within the book. It is content, however, because you have the coloring page available for you, which changes as you flip through the pages. Now, on the other hand, low content books do include wording. However, it is far less words than when we think of a typical book. So low content books can include things like journals that give you inspirational quotations as you flip through the pages, planners that give you, days of the week, give you calendars, that kind of thing. So it can also include content outside of words, but low content books also include wording, just much fewer than what we would see like in a typical novel or even novella. So no content books versus low content books, there is a difference between the two. They are not limited to just one type of book, which is why they don't just call it a journal is a no content book, because you can have wording in journals, which would then make it a low content book. So what exactly are the books that fall within these two ranges? We have, like we've already discussed, journals, diaries, we have coloring books, cookbooks, planners, logbooks. Calendars also fall within low content books. Children's books typically also include low content books because they're typically just at most around like a paragraph a page, normally like a sentence or two a page. This is something, we see a lot of, we just don't consider them to be no content books or low content books. There are a lot of people in the writing world that I've seen give a lot of flack to people who create these kind of books, saying that they aren't actually writers. However, I do feel like you are creating something that can be consumed by people like anybody that can be consumed. Therefore, you are creating a book. So I feel like it's really unfair for writers, especially writers like myself who write very long, lengthy books, to say that someone, just because they have little to no wording within their binders, that they are not technically creating a book. This is unfair, and I feel like there's already so much criticism being a writer that just to give another fellow creator a hard time about this is just kind of silly and pointless. So who is buying no content or low content books? There is a ton. I myself am a consumer of no content books. I like journals, I like notebooks, I like diaries, I've used them all. I'm not a huge coloring person, however I buy them for my child all the time. So the individual is a very good example of who consumes these. Also, corporations will buy them for various reasons, especially planners, logbooks, that kind of thing. Chain stores buy them to sell to the individuals such as us. I've also seen these type of books in novelty shops, especially like if it's a very funny, entertaining, or slightly inappropriate niche. These go really well in novelty shops. The big thing right now, from what I'm seeing, is the push to create more no content or low content books under the premise that you will make money really quickly. There's little to no effort in constructing these books, and I feel like that's why 99% of people who create this kind of content find that they are not getting the sales that they feel like they were promised whenever they start to research this kind of stuff. So let's dig into why some people succeed in writing these types of books versus so many who fail very badly at this. I first saw the terms no content books on a Facebook group that I was in, where someone was commending the group for their help in their sales. And they had really good sales for someone who had, I think she had just started like a few months prior and was already seeing thousands of dollars of sales per month with her books. However, whenever you ask her how many books she had, she told me she had over 100 titles available. So within a span of a few months, she was putting out tens of 20s of up to 100 books out. So saturation, I think, is definitely an issue. So whenever someone thinks that they can write little to no wordings in a book and actually make money, you have to really do your research and think about the market that you are going to be releasing this to. You want it to be, I think, either very entertaining or very niche worthy to be able to see any kind of sales with this. And this includes having very good covers, front, back, and spine, because you will in all aspects be judged on the cover of your book, because the content inside is not going to be a story like we think of novels, novellas, short stories, that kind of thing. So you really have to spend some time coming up with a good theme with your book, who you are going to be selling this book to, what's going to be appealing to that group, and actually marketing it. I think if you have multiple no content or low content books to kind of fill up your portfolio. So like a typical novel writer, I always hear 5 novels is where you start to see your income. I think with these no content to low content books, unless you have found a very specific niche that is wanting these type of books, you will have to probably do double, if not triple, what a regular novel writer would have to create in order to see that income coming in. So I think that it's definitely unfair for so many people to think that they can just jump in, spend like a day of creating this low content book and think that this is going to be something that's going to give them some kind of passive income later on. This has to be something that you will continuously do, and you have to, like all other things, you have to get better with it at time. So practice makes perfect, unfortunately. So even though you are coming up with a journal design that you think is very beautiful, you need to research who you are going to be selling this to, because it will be in a very competitive market. So like they always say, if you find that great niche, I never see where it's really that easy. You need to either have quantity along with the quality, or you have to already have another way in besides just being the person who is putting out a group of journals for sale on Amazon. And this is another thing that they also recommend for those wanting to go the no content or low content book publication, is not to create the book and buy it yourself in bulk. I would recommend you using a print-on-demand services for these type of books. So like Amazon, those kind of sites where you don't have to spend that upfront cost of getting them shipped to you and then trying to sell them outright unless you already have a storefront to put them in. This can really leave you with hundreds, if not thousands, of books piled up in your garage somewhere. So definitely look at printing on demand whenever you are wanting to go the self-publishing route for these kind of books. So overall, the key thing I want you to take away from this video is that a no content book does not mean a no time spent in creating book. Your design is going to be key. There will unfortunately be a to-do list whenever you are wanting to come up with your book. You want to know who you are trying to reach. You want to research those consumers and what sells the best with them. Coming up with a theme that you're comfortable with. This also will kind of go along with your branding. You're going to want to properly source your material and make sure you have the legal rights. If you are going to be using websites where you put these books together using their materials, you want to make sure legally you are not stepping on any toes where you can have that backlash after publication. So make sure you are getting those rights if you are putting anything in or on your book that you are not creating yourself. And of course, you want to make sure the paper that you are printing on is the right paper for what the intended use is. So think about coloring books and how they differ from a regular journal or diary logbook. You really want to think about the tiny details, unfortunately, whenever you're doing low content or no content, because it will make or break these types of books, especially when it comes to your sales. Overall, I think this is a really good market to try to make an income through. However, like anything book-wise, you need to offer value to your consumers and entertainment. And that is where you will consistently see those sales numbers, especially if you continue to offer new materials hitting all of those needs. I hope you've enjoyed this video, maybe learned something new. If you are looking at creating your own no content or low content book, I wish you luck. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you would like to see more videos like this, do not forget to subscribe and press the like button. I hope you have a great rest of your day.